These psychology principles feel illegal because they get you anything you want from people. So please use them responsibly because they really influence how people naturally make decisions. In this video, I'll reveal the 5 psychology principles you need to grow your business and get anything you want from people. Let's go. First off, we have the psychology of reciprocity. This is so important in business and so important if you actually want something from people. Now, the way it essentially works is in simple terms. I give you a gift, so I will get something in return. Okay, because we humans feel a massive obligation to give something in return if someone gave us something for free before that. Okay, that's just how it goes. And I'm gonna give you an example. If you're now going to a restaurant and you ate the food, you enjoyed the food, and then you ask for the waiter to give the bill. Okay, you're like, can I get the bill? And then you see that the waiter gives you the bill and there's chocolate with it, a side of chocolate or a side of mint, and you'll be like, wow, this waiter is nice. Maybe I should give them a tip. Now you have to understand, they do it for a reason. And in the book Influence, there was actually a research, a real study, how they tested if a waiter gives 1 mint in the side of the bill, and guess what? They got 3% increase in tips. Now here's the thing, when the waiter started to give them 2 mints instead of 1, guess what? The tips went up by 14%, from 3% to 14%. Now here's what's very interesting. When the waiter gave them 1 mint and then walked away and came back with another mint, that's total of 2 mints, the tips went up by 23%. Now they used the psychology of reciprocity in this. The waiters gave out 3 mints, they're just working there, they gave out 3 mints, and then the people who ate the food, they feel obligated now. They're like, wow, I want to give something in return. Let's give him a tip. You can also use the psychology of reciprocity in life. Okay, I remember when I was in school and I had a pack of gum. Okay, and I was like to my friend, like, you want a piece of gum like that? And he was like, for sure. And then after that, I was wondering, like, why is my friend all of a sudden so nice? Okay, he was nice, but he's a lot more kind now, and he gives me favors, right? And I didn't realize it back then. I wasn't doing this on purpose. But when I read the book, I was like, wow, this really makes sense. Okay, because they feel obligated. Even if it's as simple as giving them a piece of gum, it still is something that they feel obligated to give something in return. Okay, and we have to understand, back in the day, we humans were in tribes, right? And if someone gave us something for free and we didn't show any appreciation, we didn't give anything in return, that could get us killed. Okay, so maybe it's from there. Maybe this psychology of reciprocity is from there, and all of these things were from the evolution of the brain, you know? I'm not sure, but I think that's a huge thing. Now, here's another example. If you've ever walked into a suit shop where they sell you like 10K suits, you walk in there and the guy starts to give you coffee, water, starts to ask if you want some champagne. Now, you may think that these guys give you the free shit for fun, to be kind. No, that's a huge sales hack. Okay, they give you the champagne, the coffee, because they know that you'll feel obligated to buy the product. You're like, damn, this guy just gave me champagne. I don't feel like walking out the store without buying anything. If you guys don't know what I do, my name is Editor Cash. I help coaches and mentors scale their online for business through personal branding. I always tell my students that you have to give more stuff away for free in your social media, etc., etc. You need to give free ebooks, courses, collect their emails, because that's also when the psychology of reciprocity hits. Because these guys sell high-ticket mentorships, like worth 10K, okay, per clients. So when they give a lot of value for free, the people feel that obligation to potentially give something in return. And they see the value in the free stuff as well. Okay, that's very powerful. But now we have to move on to the second thing. So for number 2, we have social proof. This is massive in business, in life, if you actually want to succeed. Social proof is a proof of concept. Let's say you have a book and it has a bunch of reviews that is great. Obviously, you want to buy the book because it's like, wow, these people are talking good stuff about this book, so it must be great then. I used to go out a lot every single weekend, right, at night. Okay, it was a Friday night. I was pre-gaming, you know, with friends, etc., etc. And then it's time to, after the pre-game, it's time to hit the club, right? And we were walking there and I saw this club that we wanted to go into, but there's this massive, massive line. Okay, so usually we just either waited in the line or sometimes we just paid the freaking guy in front some, you know, $20 to get in, skip the line. But then we get in, there's almost no one inside the club. The line is massive, but I'm like, what is going on? But when I read this book, I realized that they were just using the psychology of social proof. People waiting in line equals this party, this club must be amazing. People want to get in. Okay? They were using the social proof in this, and that's just crazy, and that's smart. But when you actually get in, you realize that, wow, this is kind of ass anyways. Okay? But I don't promote drinking, anything like that. You shouldn't drink. I don't drink anymore. So I have to understand social proof is one of the key pillars in business. Okay? Social proof in info business, what I teach. Testimonials, student crazy reviews, getting results. That's one of the greatest testimonials you can have in your info business, because when a guy, your potential client, is not a client yet, but he sees those results, those student testimonials, they're gonna be like, if they got successful, if they got the transformation, why not me? That's the psychology of social proof. It's very, very important. And once you got these assets, like from these students, you have to just spam them everywhere, okay? Emails, videos, post about them on Twitter, etc., etc. It's an asset, okay, that will get you sales on autopilot. Now let's move on to the third one. This is gonna be interesting, okay? This is something that most people don't realize that is a very crazy psychology hack, but this is amazing. Number 3 is consistency. Now in simple terms, we judge people based on their actions. Consistency can be used in persuasion. For example, if I ask a person right now, do you like steaks? And he says yes. Then I'm gonna use the answer he just said to convince him to do something. I'm gonna be like, okay, well, since you like steaks, you wanna grab some steaks tomorrow with the group. Then obviously they're gonna feel like, wow, I just said that I like steaks. Why wouldn't I join today? But obviously that's a bad example, but I'm gonna give you a great example now. Okay, when I used to sell trading courses and mentorships, and I used to join the sales calls, right? What I like to do is I ask these guys like, hey, are you a type of person who's very committed? Do you actually want success? And then obviously they're gonna say yes. And then later in the call I said like, since you're a type of person who commits and who wants to see success, you have a chance to join this mentorship. Do you actually want to join this mentorship? Okay, you get the point, right? But that's just when I used to do sales. I learned this from Robert Cialdini. He said that there was a group of Boy Scouts. Let's say these are Boy Scouts. So there was a group of Boy Scouts, okay? There was like kids selling popcorn in front of a supermarket to support the Boy Scouts. The problem that these kids had was only 50% bought the popcorn and the rest 85% didn't. And to sell the popcorn, they had this one basic pitch. They were saying like, yo, we sell popcorn for $10, do you want to buy? And the money goes to the Boy Scouts. Obviously that isn't too convincing to buy, etc., etc. I mean, some people may buy, but then they learned about the psychology of consistency. Instead of saying the basic stuff that they were just saying, they asked the people who walked by, they were like, do you support the Boy Scouts? Now obviously everybody's gonna be like, of course, of course, of course. They would seem like a bad person if they didn't, right? So they said that, now, since you support Boy Scouts, do you want to buy popcorn to support the Boy Scouts? And that feels crazy. Okay, they're gonna be like, wow, I did say that I do support them, so I'm just gonna buy, right? They feel obligated to buy. And guess what? The sales went from 15% to 55%. That's insane. Just by changing a few words. That's why these psychology principles are so powerful. They're so powerful, man. And now it's time to move on to number 4, because this just gets better. The one thing that I always talk about to my students, to people who want to sell information, be a mentor, is to become an authority. Okay, you have to become an authority to succeed, because people need to trust you. Authority is just basically trust, and people see you as the method, the guy. If you look at police, the cops, okay, you trust them because they have built this reputation of helping people who are in danger, etc., and etc., solving problems. And you know that if you call 911, they're gonna come and solve the problem, most likely. You trust them, and they are an authority. Also, news. People trust news because it's official, they give the information, but to be honest, I necessarily don't always trust them, because there has been some cases where people have twisted a little bit stuff. There's a reason why I always tell my students to become an authority to sell info products. It's simple. When people see you as an authority, they trust you, they know that you're the expert and you are the solution to their problem. Now, if you want to sell fitness coaching, but you talk about crypto, on Wednesday you talk about finances, then you talk about some trading, and then you talk about freaking e-commerce, why would they buy your fitness program? They don't see you as authority. They see you as this guy who just talks about everything and it's all over the place. And those guys don't sell anything. Now, if you want to be a fitness coach, you have to talk about fitness problems that you're gonna solve. You have to talk about how you're gonna solve this issue. You're gonna talk about the best foods to eat to go from fat to fit, etc. and etc. Right? Become the authority. There used to be a deli in my hometown. They were selling every kinds of food. Italian food, Mexican food, American food, you name it, everything. And I once went there was only 3 people. And guess what? A couple of years later, the place shut down. People weren't buying. Okay, they were trying to please everyone, and that's the problem. To make it successful, you need to become the authority, master at one thing. There's a reason why steakhouses can sell expensive shit, because they're an authority, and people come in because they see this as exclusive. They mastered the art of cooking steaks, okay, and they can make it pricey because they're the master. That's why these steakhouses get Michelin stars. That's why these Italian restaurants get Michelin stars, etc., etc., because they master one thing. Okay, they're not trying to please everyone, but they're trying to please the buyer, the specific buyer who wants to eat steak, who wants to eat Italian food, etc., and etc. You get the point. That's why they succeed, because they use the psychology of authority. Now it's time to move on to number 5, and I think, in my opinion, the number 5 is probably the most important out of all of this. So for number 5, very important, this is scarcity. Scarce resources has always been seen as very exclusive. A month ago, I went to Dubai, right? And I was in there, and there's this massive thing of buying exclusive, scarce number plates, car number plates, okay? And there was this one number plate that was like 888, and this one guy told me that that's worth freaking 500K. 500K USD. And I was like, wow, that's crazy, because that's just a number plate. But that's the thing. It's exclusive. It's scarce. No one else can have it but you. Now, here's the thing. To make it work in business, you have to have scarcity, okay? Instead of accepting everybody in your sales calls, in your programs, in your courses, in mentorships, you need to accept few, or at least claim that you accept few, because that's very important. Because people are not gonna feel obligated to buy if it says that, yeah, everybody can join. No, then it's not exclusive. There's no scarcity. It's not a scarce resource. But when it says 5 spots left, there's gonna be a switch in this guy's head that's gonna be turned on, and they're gonna buy the product because they don't want to lose the opportunity. And this is the thing with us humans. We hate to lose money. We hate to lose opportunities. We hate to lose money more than we like to make money. Think about it. Think about that, okay? That's why people, when they see an opportunity, like there's only 5 spots left in this one program, I need to join because maybe I cannot join again. When I used to sell $50 per month courses and programs, I said to my community that I'm gonna raise the price. So right now there's only 5 spots. Was it like 6 spots left for the cheap price? And after that, the $50 per month is gonna go up to $200 per month. Okay. Guess what? People joined. Obviously the spots got taken, but they were like, everyone was in my DMs like, yo, please, can you just get me in? I know the spots were taken, but please get me in. That's crazy, because as soon as people see that the opportunity is fading away, they're like, oh shit, I need to take action. I need to be fast. And that's the key to sales. That's the key in business, to always make sure that the people understand that your product is a scarce resource. It's not available for a long period of time. Only few people can join. And here's the thing, what I learned from Robert Cialdini. It's more powerful to say that only 5 spots left than to say that there's 24 hours to buy this, okay? Because when they see that there's 5 spots left, they're competing with other people. They need to be fast because they know that soon these spots can be taken. But if they just say that 24 hours left, they're gonna be like, well, I'm just gonna wait, or I'm not gonna even buy this. It's just 24 hours, it's just time, whatever. But when they're competing with people, they're like, fuck these people, I need to get in, I need to fucking buy this shit. Okay, so you get the point. Scarcity, very important. And also on Black Fridays, scarcity comes also. There's one time in a year where the prices of things go down in Black Friday. So they're gonna be like, wow, the opportunity is gonna go away. Let me go in the store and buy this product that is on sale. And they don't even need the product. That's the thing, they get you to buy. And with scarcity, you can get people to buy without them even needing the product. Now, obviously, you should sell something very valuable and something very powerful, and then you start scarcity. But listen, scarcity, man, it's powerful. It's crazy. And here's one thing. If you know that you're going to use one of these principles, make sure to comment them down below and I'll be happy to check them out. Or if you have any questions about this, make sure to comment down below and I'll answer it, okay? But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and sub this video. And as usual, I will see you on that side. Peace out.